Honestly, if like me, you are new to the game of water polo and you've not really sat down and watched the match, do it. Like the 28 minutes plus stoppages of the ladies' game was absolutely enthralling. Please share it. Let's get it out there because what a game this is.
Well, I'm speaking as a very biased person, having been involved for much of my life with water polo, but no, it's a great combination of speed and endurance, skill, intelligence, a lot to offer.
And we are off with the first swim up, and the Tritons are wearing the white caps. They'll be attacking the left of your screen. The Vikings in the blue caps, and the Tritons will have first bite at it. And they will go first, and Sturck, he will find his way to the point. What do you expect to see from the opening stages of this game? Just them feeling each other out? Very
much so. It's a little bit like at this level we've got it's the A-grade men, it's the bigger bodies, without being too melodramatic, it's a bit like the heavyweight title fight, a little bit of sparring to start with, trying looking for each other's strengths and weaknesses, and looking for an early ascendancy.
So Woods will send it back to Damon at the point, lofted ball over to the near side wing to Taylor. Then they will go back to Gladdy, all the way across, and they're just trying to find an opening, which they do first off. And Bernie gets a big right hand to it, and will stop that one. It's the first real punch thrown in anger today.
Tom Burney, interestingly, is one of a few goalkeepers that the Triton clubs have, so that they find the net, they'll have him in goals. And ironically, Raf Sturck, who many of our listeners across the nation will know, and even globally, is a three-time Olympian for Australia as a goalkeeper. But he started in the field tonight.
Well, there's talent on show as the Vikings start to go again. Back again to the point. The shot clock will come down to 6. There's the shot off the surface, kicked up into the roof of the net. And that is Bernie defeated for the first time tonight. But nothing has gone up. Has something gone up? I'm waiting for it. I relied on the scoreboard initially in the first game to give me my goal scorers, but there we go. Owen Gladdy has scored for the Vikings.
Owen Gladdy's a very talented youngster, just toured Europe this year with one of the Australian junior squads, shows a lot of promise.
So Sturck again will work his way to the point, look for a little bit of an opening. They'll look to the centre forward, but just into open water. Macalino will look to outlet. Excellent pass right onto the hand of Taylor. Taylor will just arrow towards the goal. Shows, and again just under the right hand of Bernie. And the second goal of the game. Jesse Taylor. 2 in a flash for the Vikings.
This is the start that the Vikings would have been looking for, and what a confidence boost that 2 of their younger players, Owen Gladdy, followed by Jesse Taylor, opened the scoring to put them 2 up.
So the Tritons with it all to do in the early stages. Out to that 11 o'clock position as they then look to the front. Fights hard, manages to do well. Macalino does enough, just gets body in front of it. Quick outlet pass. Will find Woods as his target. Just put it into space rather than to the player. Again, they will go to the point. Damon fires it. Oh, second time of asking, but Bernie did get it.
Tom Damon, the shooter there, I think it's fair to say, in the twilight of his career a little bit, has been a former state National League captain. Unsuccessful on that occasion.
Great ball into space. Oh, massive save from Macalino. Made himself big. Right hand got in the way. Tritons doing everything they can to just even it out. They'll come out to the point to Sturck. Has to go backwards, then lobs it forward. Question as to whether he was in the 2 metre, but it's all okay, and Macalino's going to come away with it anyway.
That was Dan Hall, had the shooting opportunity for Tritons there, an exceptionally good player, a key member once again of the Adelaide Jets National League team. And if Tritons are going to win this one tonight, they'll be hoping that young Dan can score quite a few goals.
So Damon leisurely brings it into the attacking half. Fired at the surface and ricocheted over the top. Outlet ball to Sturck. And then will come out. Big, strong challenge. Gives away the foul. Back out to the point to Tim Jolly. Turnover.
Raph Sturck, the former goalkeeper, as I was saying earlier, playing a steadying role. He's the on-field coach, playing almost a bit of a quarterback role when he takes the ball in the middle of the pool.
Well, yeah, I was going to say almost like a point guard, especially with the shot clock and everything else. And just looped over the top, and again
nice
a massive save from Bernie. Still in there. Sturck has to come and take control, stamp his authority on it.
That was Tom Damon passing the ball over the top to little brother Will, but little brother Will happens to be 4 or 5 inches taller, or should I say many centimetres taller. Unsuccessful with a shot on that occasion.
Oh, and again, Macalino is earning his stripes tonight.
Well, Macalino, as I was saying, was the late call-up. The normal goalkeeper, unavailable, Marshall Morley, and Macalino called up from B-grade ranks, and so far is doing a good job.
Earning his call-up. Oh, and again, just off the surface, and you can't, there's not a lot a keeper can do because it can go anywhere once it hits the surface.
Interesting to note, Dave, quite a few of the players in the pool, it's a bit of a thing in the water polo community, are the sons of. There's at least 3 or 4 of the players in there whose fathers used to play, and certainly young Fraser Wood, who scored that goal. His father, Michael, is a former veteran for the Vikings club in the Adelaide Jets.
Well, Owen Gladdy with his second goal of the game, and again they will look to Sturck just to try and claw something back. 3-goal lead and about a minute and a half left in this first quarter. Sturck will make a little bit of space, passes back to the point. One touch pass, and then it will come back to the 1 o'clock position. They get the foul. Well, they look to feed the centre just off the post. Can they get the ball back? No, it's going to find its way to Macalino.
The pressure starts to build on Tritons, with Vikings with that 3-goal margin. That the players just start to tighten up, and they're concerned about missing, as they have done on a few occasions, and of course the great saves by Macalino. Strong challenge then.
Caught him right in the cheek. He's, I don't know, I haven't got a number 5 hat. I think he's swapped his hat somewhere along the line. We'll find out who he is at some point.
Nick Jordan Jr.
That's a better save from Bernie.
I dare say at this stage, Dave, with 51 seconds left in the quarter, Vikings will take a full attack, milk all of the clock they can, and just leave minimal time for Tritons to score. They'll be happy to sit on a 3-goal lead at this stage at quarter time.
Yeah, I'd imagine that would be the case. And 20 seconds of the 40 is going to go with the Vikings just passing the ball around.
Doing just that, just holding on, just consolidating.
He has turned it over though.
Yes.
Oh, and then gives away. Oh, there's a little bit of push and shove between the two experienced campaigners, the 2 number 2s, Sturck and Damon.
The oldest players in their respective teams.
Are they both going? Well, they both going to, the 2 old men put in the naughty corner this early on.
Are they both going, or is it just Damon, I feel?
Tom Damon is going, but...
Yeah, Sturck has survived the inquiry from the referee.
No, but nothing wrong with a little bit of robust debate. They will go back to Sturck, who will have his blood up, looks for a little bit of space, can't find any. Then we'll go out. Now he will look for it, and it just came off a Vikings head. It's still bouncing around.
Oh, with 4 of a second Dave left.
I
That's a
think
very important goal.
that's our man Jordan Jr. Just got him in time.
Yes. A very important goal in the context of the game. Makes the score 3 to Vikings and 1 to Tritons.
Well, we talk about coach killers and losing possession.
What, long shot? Oh, a deflection.
When you talk about coach killers and losing possession with that much time, then getting yourself excluded and conceding a goal, I think Mr. Damon might feel the wrath of his coach, captain, or...
Well, it was unnecessary, putting it bluntly, and that 3-goal margin that I said that Vikings were looking forward to, there's now only 2.
And 2 goals, so what will the coaches be saying? I think just more of the same for the Vikings, and the Tritons started to come into it a little bit more, and I think Bernie's been unlucky with some of the goals that he's conceded, but Macalino certainly is.
Yeah, look, I think at the moment the shots that Vikings have put away to score those 3 goals have been exceptional shots. It'll be interesting to see whether that high level of performance can stay. And on the other side of the coin, Tritons perhaps just needed to be a little bit more accurate against Macalino. I'd be looking for young Dan Hall, who I mentioned earlier, to start shooting a bit more. He is probably the exceptional shooter in the pool, and didn't have that many goals in that first quarter.
So in the ladies' game, what we saw in the ladies' game, we saw a scoreless second quarter. Things really, really tightened up. I don't know whether that's what we'll see here. I think, certainly they'll look to extend their lead, the Vikings, and they don't want to sit back on that lead, though, do they? They certainly don't want to allow the Tritons to come at them.
No. If you, it's a well-known philosophy in water polo coaching. If you don't attack hard, you leave the opposition with enough energy for them to attack hard. So Vikings need to keep pushing at Tritons, make them work in defence, maybe win the odd kick out, and then when Tritons get the ball, they're a little bit fatigued themselves when they come back down the other end.
I found it really quite interesting that the tempo is the game. Both teams are controlling that tempo. It's not 100% at the moment. They're taking the time and looking for the spaces and looking for the gaps. I'm sure as the game goes on and it becomes more and more tight that we will see that tempo lift and really start to get quite interesting as we get towards the end of the game. There's as per usual, the ex-internationals and experienced players having a very heated discussion with one of our referees. Was Raf Sturck down here? Never ever agree with an umpire or referee, do we?
And I must apologise because I think I called one of young Owen Gladdy's goals to Fraser Wood, but that's a very good start for the youngster to have 2 goals on the board at this stage.
Yeah, so Owen Gladdy has 2 to his name, and Jesse Taylor has the 1. Nick Jordan got the 1 goal for the Tritons, and we are off and running. Referee almost wasn't ready.
Referee Jason Wedding.
So, I think we should do some sort of fundraising thing to get the donut thing that comes down in the middle like they do at the Olympics. I like that.
I think so.
So again, the Vikings will look with first ball on and again off the bar. Doesn't go over though. So Bernie gets out of jail somewhat. Certainly a tactic we're seeing a lot more in the men's game than we did in the women's with the coming off the surface, but rapid attack from the Tritons. They will get the foul. They'll come out to Hall. Hall strong fires it.
Great save by Macalino.
Good left hand save from Macalino. And again, they are saves he has to make. None of these are for the cameras. So the Tritons again will look to build. Hall to the point. We'll send it out to Bates. Bates is fouled. Look to that centre forward position. Just tried to touch it out, but they have managed to turn it over, and Owen Gladdy managed to get the turnover and sends it back to Macalino. Looks for an outlet, finds one. Out onto this near side wing with Kennedy.
Kennedy's come to Adelaide from Sydney a couple of years ago. Formerly
Long
played
ball
there.
over the top, tried to pull the trigger, just couldn't get enough purchase on it, Taylor. Looking for his second goal of the game, just couldn't quite get there. Ball's a bit wet.
Don't know if we need the dad jokes, Dave.
Sorry. They are allowed though. Again, somebody I don't have a name for, the number 12 in the white hats. Oh, sorry, no, that is Nat Swan. Turned over again.
Nat Swan, another talented youngster. They have two very good left-handers, Charlie Bates and Nat Swan, both really up-and-comers in South Australian water polo, and future's bright for them, those two Tritons club boys.
In all seriousness, though, you are trying to grip a ball one-handed. That is absolutely sopping wet, and then pull the trigger. It's not an easy skill, one would imagine.
No, not at all.
Foul given before Fraser Woods managed to get it into the net.
On that occasion, the referee deemed that Woods was, in fact, holding the offensive player to facilitate the 360 turn that he did.
So a little bit of space for Lewis. Lewis will look to the centre, first time! And the Tritons will get back on the board and they will get to 3-2.
Nice pass by Lewis then, and Hall held the person in the centre-back position on that occasion. William Damon held him off, created a passing space for Lewis to pass into, and then Hall, as I said earlier, a very good finisher, put it away and put the Tritons just one behind now.
So one goal in it. Good finish, backhand finish. Low and away from Macalina. Ball is in the hands of Tom Damon.
Triton sub just leaving the pool, and away we go.
Gives it off to his brother Will. And then we'll find Taylor. Taylor with Lewis for company, gets the foul. Goes all the way across to Tom Damon. He's allowed to come forward. Big battle in front.
Damon puts it wide.
So Bernie outlets just puts it into a little bit of a dangerous position. Not sure that's a competition that Hall wanted. He wins out though. Beating out Noah Glady. Holds him off and finds a pass. Oh, he snuck through. Charlie Bates, I think that was, manages to get the equalising goal. Just snuck underneath Macalina.
Dave, as I said, I mentioned just a moment ago the two talented young left-handers for Tritons, and Charlie Bates put that shot away. For those new to water polo, if you had slow time-lapse photography, when the ball bounces, it actually submerges to some degree, and that's how it slips under the goalkeeper's arms, because it's actually at least half of the ball is below the surface, which makes it tough for the goalkeeper.
So we are right back where we started, all square. Taylor to Damon, then he will find Woods. Woods looking for a spot, deflected in front. Big, strong challenge.
Big challenge.
And a foul given. Just the foul though.
Yes, the Vikings coaching staff were looking for something a bit more from referee Damjanovic.
I think a lot of people were looking for a little bit more. Effortless out the air from Taylor. Back to Woods. Damon with a little bit of time and space will fire it, and Bernie can get that one. I would have to say at this A-grade level, if you're not making the goalkeeper work with a deflection off the surface, it's easy for them.
Yes, it is. And at the moment, the Vikings attack has become a little bit stagnant. They're a bit predictable. Damon's having a lot of shots from the point region. They need a driver to break up that defence.
So Bates will win the final.
Yes, he's confident
very,
now.
very quickly. And we turn around and Charlie Bates scores his second of the game. Just fired it into the top, well, just away to the right of Macalino.
And Dave, Charlie Bates is another one of those that I said is the son of a former player, and I hope his dad's watching us this evening. He spends a lot of time working in Bangkok, so he's got the opportunity to be watching this game. So Tony, if you're watching, send us a text here at the commentary position or give us a hoy on Facebook.
So just another substitution. You got a massive compliment here. Who was it who said it? I'll find the comment again when we get a chance.
Fraser Woods, he's a danger man. There's this static offense I referred to. The Vikings need a bit more movement.
The three at the top have caused all sorts of problems.
Then Decker fighting hard. Oh, what's that?
Sturck is there again.
It's that washing machine effect. Oh, well played. Dane Kennedy. Woods.
So they're just taking the foot off the gas. 10 seconds on the shot clock, but he's got lots of time and space. Deflection came from Sturck, playing goalkeeper 6 or 7 meters out from goal, but did just as well.
Yes, at times Tritons have got 2 goalkeepers in there, of course.
Big outlet pass to Peters. Peters has got in front. He's got people streaming forward in the white hats. Pass just touched by Damon. Gave them a little bit of space, and there they will capitalise on that. Jordan will score his second of the game. And now, 2-goal lead to the Tritons.
Well, in fact, Dave, if we consider that Vikings were 3-0 up, it's been a 5-goal-in-a-row rampage.
That is a 5-goal turnaround. Damon Doody says, Johnny Boy Harmer sounding like BT. That's one heck of a compliment for you.
Oh, dear.
So, just to relax, and the referee's going to time out. There we go. Good allow us all to catch our breath. But you are right, 5-goal turnaround. Well, we go back to decision-making and coach killers. Tom Damon loses possession with less than a minute to go in the first quarter, and it gave that momentum to the Tritons, and now they've really wrested the game away with both hands now.
Very much so, and the timeout from Vikings was necessary. They're trying to put the handbrake on what's happening. They desperately need the next goal. If the score was to be another one for Tritons and went to 6-3, that really makes it tough for them.
And it was interesting, Raf Sturck didn't start that quarter. He was away for about half of that quarter.
Okay.
And they got the run on when he came back in. Yeah, and just started to find a little bit of space, a little bit of time, and was able to pick out passes. And obviously we've seen how just immense he is defensively, but really starting to make this game his own at the moment, Raf Sturck.
Yes, and look, I know the old fellow well, in a water polo sense. He's an old fellow, but he's a very well-respected player nationally, if not internationally, and his knowledge of the game is top class, so he will continue to have an influence now that the pace has gone off the game particularly.
So Damon at the point. Sends it out to that 11 o'clock position, then they'll look at the one. Back to 11. Thought about it, pulls the trigger off the crossbar, comes exactly the wrong way. The Vikings doing everything they could but score on that one. And Bernie very, very relieved to pluck that one as it harmlessly bobbed in front of his goal. And Sturck will now take control.
Interesting, Dave, because to start with, Vikings couldn't miss. They've had a couple of bar downs, and that can happen in the game. They've got to take stock, not be afraid to shoot, but they've been a little bit unlucky with a couple of those bars.
Big block from Damon, big.
Oh, a turnover, clever play.
Back to Sturck, everything seems to build from him. Out to the wing. Back to Sturck, thought about it. Then we'll back off. Send it over to Lewis.
A lot happening at centre forward.
I know.
I'm
trying to watch the ball, but honestly, what happens in front of that goal?
There's Jordan.
Jordan will fire it just over, looking for his hat-trick. Just over the bar.
So one attack left for Vikings. 16 seconds left in the half.
I don't think there was an issue with the play clock. They
Correct.
had enough time. There is 10 seconds left.
This is very
Damon
important.
fires
Great
straight
block.
into
Great
the chest
block.
of Stark.
And
Then goes for touch and it comes off the post. And again, Bernie can happily just throw it away. And we will go to half-time. Again, they did everything but score then, the Vikings. Well, it's been a game of 2 quarters so far.
As they say.
With the Vikings taking an early lead and then the Tritons coming back. We will step away for a short break and we'll be back for quarters 3 and 4 from the SA Aquatic and Leisure Centre. I'll get it right at some point tonight. Brought to you by Spacequake Sports, and very much thank you to Water Polo SA. We'll be back soon. Centre at Marion. I think I nailed it that time.
I think you did.
I've got it, that one. As we are less than a minute away from this one, but very, very quickly, we were talking off air. You managed the national men's side when you went over to London in 2012, and just experience-wise, what was that like, being involved in the whole Olympic experience?
Oh, look, it's fantastic, and as part of that situation, I was involved with the men's team for the Olympic cycle. So you go to world champs, you go to various tournaments, and Australia's had a very good relationship with some of the East Europeans, formerly with the Hungarians, through friendships with their very famous coach, Dennis Kimeny. And so we had a lot of training camps in Europe, and you are in the hotbed of water polo when you're playing in places like Hungary and Croatia, for example.
And from my research today, I did notice that the Australians do appear to have good showings in the Olympics. They all seem to be in or around the medal games.
Sure, the you know, that ever elusive medal does sort of just escape us. The Australian men very recently in the World League made the final of the World League, going down to obviously the eventual winners, so Croatia. But the silver medal was a just reward for their efforts. The women, of course, since the start of the women's game being in the Olympics in Sydney 2000, the Australian women have been very, very strong over the years.
So we are underway in the third quarter, and Tom Damon will take the reins of this Viking side all over again. Back to Damon at the point. Just looking for a bit of space, and again he fires it just a little bit high and wide. And honestly, ladies and gentlemen, I know we're concentrating on the ball, but the battles that go on in front of the goalkeeper. That time it was Will Damon and Raf Sturk, and honestly, it's people get arrested on a Saturday night for less. So the Tritons now looking to find a gap. Will go to the front. Damon stands big, does enough, and they're happy to go back to Macalino. And they stream down the other end of the pool. Pass just holds up a little bit. Fraser Woods will take over. Back to Damon. Damon looking for an option, decides shooting a goal is the best one.
That's that static attack I was referring to, Dave. They just have to mix it up. It's very one-dimensional with the shot from the point at the moment.
And are they forced into that by the defence from the Tritons, or do they have to work a little bit harder to find a gap?
Well, look, I think so at the moment, because it's very predictable. They're getting a lot of defenders between the goal and the ball. That
Good ball
goalie
into space, and Hall finds himself with a little bit of space. There is a foul. They'll just dump it because they get rid of the shot clock. Make the goalkeeper do a bit of work. Good outlet pass again. No, Inglady scored twice already. One of a couple of players looking for a hat-trick. Oh, and first time. Bounced off the surface, and Bernie did well.
Jesse Taylor, the youngster, letting it go first time.
He had to have a couple of bites of it to get it under control, but he got it eventually. Taylor again. Back to Damon. Damon again, blocked in front. And back they will go to Bernie.
Good work by the Tritons defence then. They're blocking very well. They've got that Extra set of arms for the goalkeeper.
Kai Peters. Ball in front of him. He's got lots of space. Damon having to deal with a number of people. Will allow Peters to try and find a pass in front. Again, they will look for more, but it's just a foul.
Hall wanted more. There's a bit of a mismatch here with the youngster Taylor at centre back on the stronger, more experienced Hall.
A lot of space for Peters again.
A little bit of a break in proceedings. I'm not sure why.
Just a little bit of a conversation over at the officials' table.
Sure.
I do like the way that Ben Hall has gone into the penalty shot position. It is a penalty. I'm telling you, it's a penalty.
I think what you'll find, Dave, is that the shot clock had returned to 30 in anticipation of Vikings winning the ball, when in fact they didn't.
Right.
So the referee is conferring with the table official to have a look at that shot clock.
10 seconds. So will they control their own shot clock as well, and that's a stadium one?
Yes, they can. Yeah, they will. And that seems about right. Tritons had a fair bit of their attack, so 10 seconds as adjudged by the referee seems about right. It's running it down.
I think they'll just dump this in the end. 5, I think, has been excluded.
That's handy. That's an exclusion. Full shot clock. Stirk once again just marshalling the troops. He's the general in there.
Owen Gladdy gets his exclusion, just misses the hand of Peters. He has to go and get it. 15 seconds on the shot clock. Swan.
7 seconds till the exclusion. 5, 4, ready to come in. Hall.
Shot goes.
Great
and
shooter.
will score.
Great shot by Dan Hall. Well worked by Tritons. Patient in offence.
That was the very word I was going to use, was patience. 6 goals to 3. And now, in a complete turnaround from the first quarter, the Vikings now need to come out, try and get back in this game, and the Tritons cannot sit on their lead. We're about, again, a little bit of a break in proceedings, I think, for a substitution, but we are off and running again. And Tom Damon, if there was ever a time for your experienced players to step up, this is it.
Dave, that depth I referred to is proving very telling, because Tritons made multiple subs. Exclusion drawn on that occasion. Dan Hall is the excluded player, and Vikings going to 6 on 5, as we call it, in extra man offence.
Heyman, first time, looked like he wanted to pull the trigger, then didn't. Heyman sends it out to the right hand side. Now he will get it. Now he will fire. Just pulled it just away from the left hand post. But it's on again in midfield with Heyman and Jordan Jr.
Damon, that is. Damon.
It was Tom Damon and Jordan Jr. Tom Damon getting into it again. Or the 2 number 5s, Dave Kennedy and Nick Jordan. Who's on for young and old in the middle. That's
bit of confusion on the table once again.
of all the places to have a disagreement, the middle of a swimming pool doesn't seem to be the best one. So I think that's Kennedy, isn't it? The number. No, it's Damon who's gone again. So that's Damon who's got 2 major fouls. Wait for our scoreboard, and there's 2 away to our left hand side. Are they waiting to substitute, I think?
Yes, they'll bring Stirk back in on the sub.
Just making sure Nick Jordan knows it's an exclusion. He's left it up on the scoreboard for a while. Oh, early shot, and just cannoned off the surface and went well over the top.
Yes, Dave, for those not used to water polo, you only just have to hit a little ripple on the pool the wrong way, and that's exactly what can happen. Like a very short pitch bouncer.
And the old whacker. In the old days of the whacker.
Yeah, let's not talk about cricket right now.
I'd like to, I'm English. Back to the point to Damon, who, is on 2 fouls. He's in a little bit of foul trouble. Back to the point. Again, they're looking for a little bit of space. Just dumped it in front. Probably looking for the foul more than anything else.
Exclusion drawn. That's what they were looking for.
And they get Sturck, and that's his first one of the day.
This is a really important extra man in the context of the game. Vikings desperately need to score.
Back again. Spearman is there, and they do score. Bring it back to 2 goals.
Patience on that occasion.
Fraser Woods with his first goal of the game. Yeah, the extra man telling. And talked about coach killers, but I think the Vikings just baited Sturck into that one and put it in front of that centre forward. And 9 times out of 10, you're seeing a foul given. So it's a big battle that goes on in front of that goalkeeper.
Very much so. It's a pivotal position there, and somewhat similar to the centre in basketball. Control a lot of the play.
Big and strong. I was actually looking for sporting comparisons, and I think basketball's not a bad one.
Well, it's the combination of
fired and off the post, and a rebound is put back in. Dan Hall, first one to get
very clever.
His 3rd goal of the game. The control and the finish in one movement.
Great reflexes.
And as quick as that, we're back to our 3-goal margin. And just under 2 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter. Tritons are leading this one 7 goals to 4. Tom Damon and 2 major fouls and a little bit of trouble. Renews acquaintances with Raf Sturck. Back to Damon at the point. And again, it's huge in there, and there's a goal back from the Vikings.
Not quite sure how that happened, but an excellent effort by Damon.
Will Damon was that one.
4 Tritons defenders all around him. Lost sight of Damon, lost sight of the ball, but next thing we know, it's in the back of the net. Vikings keep in touch, they need the next one.
Again, that really interesting battle between Tom Damon and Raf Sturck. Almost see Damon wanting to go with Sturck, even though that's not his position. Foul given. Interesting battle again, just not willing to give up space in front of the goal. Will Damon will win that battle, and then Sturck will find his way to the front. Woods looking for a pass in front.
Long shot, end of the shot clock, over the
just
top.
over the bar.
Okay.
Just looking for a signal as to which way we're going.
Yes, it is a corner throw, so McAlena must have just tipped the ball over. Allows Tritons to reload, put pressure on the defence once again.
Good pressure and just forcing him backwards. And again, a very, very strong Will Damon. Gives away the foul, but my word, he's a strong young man in the water.
There's Jordan, he's got a good shot, sits up.
A good save by Macalino, and this time the rebound finds its way safely into the hands of Macalino.
It's that bounce of the ball. The last time that happened, we'll remember it went to Dan Hall, put it straight back in. This time, same play, same rebound, but this time safely in the hands of
Lovely pass, finds space. Looks into the centre. Strong hand in front of goal, and Damon just couldn't quite get it back in. And Charlie Bates scored 2 goals of his own, and this time he prevents one.
Yeah, good play by the youngster at centre back against the bigger, more experienced Damon.
Long pass to Sturck. Loses out though, has to battle back. Another inverted whistle.
4 seconds left in the quarter. Good block by Woods.
Great block. Into midfield, has to be a long shot, and dealt with by Macalino. Bernie. So that is it. That is the end of the 3rd quarter. And what an interesting one. So 2 goals of difference as we enter the 4th quarter.
Well, interestingly enough, the 3/4 time score here was the final margin in the women's game. So 7-5. 2 goals is nothing in water polo, but the challenge remains. I'd certainly rather be in the Tritons camp at the moment, being 2 ahead.
That is very true, but certainly we've just seen, just as we've gone on, it just seen Will Damon really start to try and put his strength on this. He's really holding the space in front of the net defensively, and then going and being centre forward at the other end. And so strong and powerful in the water.
He is, but as you pointed out, Dave, you know, young Charlie Bates did a good job, and if you can rely on someone like that to hold down the centre back position, then your more experienced guys like Hall and Stirk can be an offensive threat. And at the moment, that's working for Tritons. They're doing a good job.
It is on a knife edge at the moment. A toss of the coin, you would think. I mean, we'll see how the opening moments of the fourth quarter go, because a quick goal to the Tritons really could take the wind out of the sails of the Vikings. But if the Vikings manage to get some wind in the sails of that longboat of theirs and bring it back to one goal, then they may find themselves with an absolute grandstand finish.
Yes, you're spot on, and the first goal is very, very important. If Tritons manage to get the first one, they can just sort of control the ball a little bit more. As we said earlier, they don't want to just rest on their laurels. I've seen water polo 2-goal margins neutralised within a matter of seconds, so they can't afford to sit back. Ideally, they will keep attacking, and if they can get that next goal, then certainly they're in the box seat.
Clearly, as we watch this three-quarter time break, as we see Tom Damon in the pool basically marshalling his troops, clearly is the leader of this team, but he is in foul trouble. The last thing he will want is to get another major foul and then not be available on the run into the finish line.
Sure, yeah. No, that's a good point, Dave. They need his presence. He's the on-field coach in the water, and plays a valuable role in that capacity.
He has to be absolutely squeaky clean, doesn't he, for this final 7 minutes of the 2018 season. The A-grade final between the Adelaide Tritons, who are wearing the white caps, and the Adelaide Vikings, who we're being told is blue, but it's kind of a dark, reddy.
I think you'll find they're black with that little red pinstripe happening there.
There we go.
I'd keep an eye out, Dave, this quarter for a couple of the speedsters who've got speed and endurance. I think the youngster for Vikings, Jesse Taylor, hasn't really broken loose, but he's very quick with a strong shot. And Dan Hall, with his experience in offence, is a real threat too. So perhaps they're two to keep an eye on.
Well, they gave the goal to Hamish Shute. I thought it was Dan Hall who scored the other one, but no, it's Dan Hall still looking for his hat-trick. Hamish Shute had that one. As we go for the fourth quarter, interestingly, Raf Stirk sitting on the sidelines. The on-water leader for the Tritons just sitting out the start of the fourth quarter.
Yeah, watch this space. If Tritons get the first one, he may stay there. But if Vikings get it, the general will be back in quick smart.
Damon will find his brother, Will Damon.
No one
gets the foul.
Centre forward not in front at the moment. Woods is being front marked. Then Decker.
They're trying to just create a little bit of space, but threw his head back and the referees weren't happy with it. Just trying everything to make a little bit of space, and you talk about centres in basketball, certainly rings true on that one. You talked about pace. Charlie Bates gets himself into a scoring position, finds the middle ball, didn't go in, just got held up. Macalino will say a big thank you to Isaac Newton at some point tonight. The laws of physics helped him out.
Well, I think Jordan didn't quite get the handle on it and ended up being a bit of a Shane Warne type shot. There was a bit of leg spin that didn't allow it to get quite across the line.
Just held up. And now the Vikings given a lifeline and get the foul. Now Damon's got a look in front of the frame of the goal. And again, just rebounds into safety into the hands of Charlie Bates. Happy to go back to Bernie.
The bar, the goalie's best friend a couple of times there.
You would expect the Tritons to start using as much of the shot clock as they possibly can. Letting them play. Referees are letting them play. They'll go into the middle to Jolly. Haven't called his name very often tonight. Bates sends it into the front. Macalino does well, just comes out and commands the front. Sends it forward early to to Dendeka.
Oh, that's a bit of a rush play there. Last thing Vikings can afford is easy turnovers. Possession's everything. You can't score a goal if you're not in possession.
Long pass out to Hall. Hall will look to centre it to Bates. Bates will fire and Bates will score.
Nice goal to Charlie Bates.
And he does get his hat-trick.
And the youngster full of confidence, already 2 under his belt.
It was always going to be an issue with the Vikings chasing the game. There was an absolute acre of water. Kai Peters. They got Kai Peters on the scoreboard. I'll be led by you whether that's Kai or Charlie, the number 8.
That was definitely Charlie.
So Will Damon will look to take over at the point now, and I think we've lost Tom Damon. No, Tom Damon's out there in the middle, but a turnover. Now there's a foot race, as it were, into the middle to Tim Jolly. Jolly, one-on-one. Decides to stop and prop. Gets the foul. Looks into the centre. Again, Macalino will come out and command.
Yep, definitely an exclusion there.
Noah Gladdy will go. And that's his first one. So 8 goals to 5. 4 minutes 27 to go. So there is time. We've seen 3 goals in a quarter by one team.
Yes, Dave, at this stage, Vikings are probably going to have to take a risk. You know, as soccer teams do late in the game when they push everyone forward, and they might just need to send someone away, cherry pick, as they call it in water polo, just to try and bridge that gap. To give themselves a chance, maybe a little bit early for that, but at some point they've got to get a couple of goals quickly to stay in touch.
So we do see Raf Sturck enter the fray again. The general has returned.
He will demand the ball often in the remaining 4.5 minutes of the game.
I think he will have complete control of that shot clock from now on in. Whether we see the same sort of issue that we had with Tom Damon in the first quarter. But what a game it's been up until this point.
Yes, well, once again, after that initial Vikings flurry, it's 8-2 to Tritons. So they've really commanded the game after that initial 3-goal start to the game by Vikings. Now Bates must be looking at the goal like they're a soccer goal at the moment. He's hot. He'll be ready to shoot, the youngster.
It's big for him at the moment, isn't it?
He's got the hot hand.
Out to Sturck. Thought about it. Then it will come back out to Bates. Plucking out of the sky. Sturck. Back to Bates.
Yeah.
Bates fires it. Hits the frame of the goal. And Macalino just covers it up. But they were just playing catch between the two of them. Almost like a father and son in the backyard. And out they come again.
Hard.
Noah Gladdy working really hard just to stay in front. Does manage to stay in front. This is all Noah Gladdy.
Well.
Can he finish it? No. But he might get it back.
Great work by Tritons.
Then gives away the foul. He was just tired.
Yeah. He needed to make Jordan work a little bit harder to get that. Once again, Tritons in possession, controlling the ball.
Out to Stark.
Guess who?
He was seemed to want to get on with things, actually, considering they have a 3-goal lead.
Yep.
Obviously wants to put the foot on the throat somewhat. Foul given. Just the foul. Fired, deflected. And deflected wide by Tom Damon.
Nice block by Tom Damon on that occasion. Macalino feeds it right side of the pool, which is often the preferred side, to pass into the right-handers as they come down the middle.
Just over 3 minutes to go. 3 goals the difference. Damon comes back to the point to Woods. Woods will get the foul. And then we'll come out to this near side to Gladdy. Gladdy sends it forward.
Yes, an exclusion.
Yes, I think there was one.
Well worked by Tom Damon. Was it Elvis that said it's now or never, Dave?
It is. Oh, there we go. It is now or never. Oh, he had to think about pulling the trigger. Damon
crucial save.
Great save by Bernie. Now you would think they would start to use because we are right about on a 5-possession game.
Yeah.
So they have to start using the shot clock now. 13 seconds of it left.
Trouble here. 2 Vikings went to the 1 Tritons.
Oh, and they
that's
have
game
scored,
over.
and that will be it, you would think,
Well,
because
yeah.
looking at the clock.
There's enough time in the game, however, given how strongly Tritons are playing and how fatigued Vikings are looking, it's highly unlikely.
You would think they'd put it to bed with a 4-goal lead, but stranger things have happened. That was Jet Lewis with the goal. 9 goals to 5. Incredibly unlucky. We go from the save at one end from Bernie and then go down the other end. And
what's a 2-goal
Tritons,
turnaround?
It's a tough turnaround for the Vikings.
What could have been 6-8 becomes 5-9.
Into the front, great ball into the front. Look for a foul, got absolutely nothing. And here they come again, the Tritons. Charlie Bates,
Full of steam.
the hat-trick hero.
Sees the cross pass.
He didn't want to use the
Nice.
shot clock, and that's a turnover. And there's a cherry
we go.
picker is there.
Absolutely.
One-on-one. Fraser Woods scores. His second of the game.
9-6.
Well, there might be the impetuousness of youth from
Yes.
Charlie Bates.
Yes, absolutely.
Because now we have essentially a 4-possession game. If they can get a turnover quickly, they can certainly work something.
So, Dave, tactically, Vikings will need to score their goals relatively quickly. Tritons will have possession, but Vikings now will be pressing and fouling to stop the clock.
It will go
Like
back to
Sturk will
start.
swim away and waste time, which is perfectly good play, very professional play.
And he's met by Damon.
The
Pass will
Vikings
go
need to
out,
foul
they will
quickly.
just pass, and there is the
Clock
foul.
stops.
And there
Vikings
goes
have
the
sent away
cherry
a
picker, so
picker.
Taylor is gone.
Bates, he needs to control this, Dave. You
Be
mentioned
careful. 10 seconds left. They were yelling at him to keep hold of it. He shoots.
Yeah.
And Macalino will score. No, will
interesting.
save, sorry. Again, now they will go long
That's
and
good
deep.
play. Takes it wide, opens up the centre of the offence,
And the foul.
and on the break.
It's all getting a bit hectic now. Very, very exciting. Fired at goal. And away to that far side.
Possibly could have just been a bit more patient. Another 5 seconds, had a break coming down the middle.
At what point do you whisper to young Charlie, come and have a sit down, because we've got 30 seconds of clock.
Yes.
Sturk puts his hand up. He doesn't want to use it. We are very, very spread out all over the pit, all over the pool. Tim Jolly loses it.
Deary me.
Now-
Deary me.
Well, you would suggest that would be it, though. There isn't enough time for them to come back. They might get a consolation. They will get a foul. Clock will stop again.
There's a shot here.
Fraser Woods on his hat trick, loops it over the top, and they've let it play.
And
And there would be
all she
1
wrote.
second. Well, that would be it. The shot clock now would be it, and they will just pass it around. Or
Tritons players and fans know they can celebrate.
that is it. 3 goals difference. There is nothing left. Oh, and off the underside of the crossbar.
Nice finish.
Jet Lewis was scored his second of the game.
Yeah.
Not sure it was required, but
Not
you know.
really, but it's a bit like don't shoot, good goal.
Yeah,
Good goal.
well, 10 goals to 6 and 13 seconds left. You would suggest that that would be all she wrote.
Absolutely.
And so the 2018 A-grade champions will be the Adelaide Tritons, and very much deserved. And it looked very much at the beginning of the game with the Vikings going out to a very early 3-goal lead that it would never end up as this kind of score. But ladies and gentlemen, from the South Australian Aquatic and Leisure Centre, once out of the number of times that I've said it tonight, they will do it. The Tritons just too good.
Very much so. They controlled the game very well. That experience that we referred to came to the fore. I think, Dave, they also looked a little bit fitter in the end. I talked about their depth at the start of the game, and I think that shone through in overall fitness, but also numbers of players on the bench, and they were able to use those rotations to their benefit and really help them to control the game in the latter stages.
I'll leave it to you to say the best in pool, but I just wanted to give a couple of players a shout out. Luke Macalino is a late call up into an A-grade grand final to play as well as he did. I know it's weird to say that he played well when there's 10 goals gone past you, but he played very, very well and just ran out of legs a little bit at the end of it, but absolutely outstanding. Obviously, Raf Sterk was very, very good, and Tom Damon were very, very good, but who for you was your best?
Look, I'd give an honourable mention to Charlie Bates. Interestingly, I think the coach, even though they won by 4 goals, might just have a whisper to Charlie about ball control and holding possession late in the game. I do think Sterk was particularly prominent just in his overall control, but the attacking threat that Dan Hall played was really significant, and he had a very significant role in the game overall. Also by virtue of just how much attention that Vikings needed to place on him for his outstanding offence. But no, overall once again, that depth of Tritons and a very, very good team effort. And I'm not sure exactly how many years in a row. They've certainly gone back to back, but it might even be more than that. It might be, I'm not sure, 3, 4 years in a row. They've got a bit of a dynasty happening there with the A-grade men.
And the A-grade women weren't a million miles away tonight as well. So ladies and gentlemen from Marion, it's been an absolutely wonderful evening of water polo. I have been Dave Webb. I've been joined by John Harmer, and earlier before sitting and keeping us company while we watch this water polo. Mark, I'll love to see you again. We'll do as many of these as you want. Absolutely fantastic evening. Ladies and gentlemen from Marion, good night.
Good night.